Okay.
Aubergine.
Suddenly aubergine. Just everywhere.
What is an aubergine? Is that a person?
It's an eggplant.
It's an eggplant. We just
Eggplant.
use the French word for it
Ugh.
over here in Europe.
Eye roll so dramatic. You can't even see it. You're being spared. Oh my.
I'm quite curious,
my
like how because obviously the colonists, I would presume, would have gone over with the knowledge of aubergine, and how they swapped to eggplant, I don't know.
You don't control us anymore.
Dad.
It kind of looks like it. I mean, if you cook it well, it kind of has like a rich, buttery texture to it.
But
Well, but you know what I'm saying, like kind of rich and a little meaty, a little custardy, like an egg. You know, like I can see it.
The name eggplant was given to it by Europeans in the middle of the 18th century because of the variety they knew had fruits that were the shape and size of goose eggs.
There you go.
The variety was also whitish and yellowish in color rather than the wine purple that is more familiar nowadays.
Take it up with the medieval Europeans there, buddy.
aubergine apparently was originally an Arabic loanword. So
Albad and Jan.
Just rolled a 1 and a 20.
Nice.
which is apparently where it's oldest. So first from the Middle East.
All right, enough about eggplant.
During the course of the week, between time devoted to his manifesto, The Shared Sin of Slavery, Declan manages to craft 6 firebombs and 5 doses of poison. The leaf he obtained from Eli proves to be quite hardy and can double in size under the right conditions. And he has also managed to craft himself some goggles that will allow him to see in the dark using the newly enchanted tools given to him, or that he commissioned from Thela. He is unable to complete his work on the toxin filters before the end of the week, however. Abrashmina bought some more sending stones, all of the sending stones, while Bryn returns to the bazaar every day looking for the old hag from the Esoterica, whom she never encounters again. Declan and Bryn also visit the docks each night looking for Non Al Sisay. When they question him, Bryn catches a vision of a tall and beautiful, wealthy Ashari woman. When asked about Riga, the Hunan thinks about the same woman, leading Bryn and Declan to assume that it is the same individual. The night before they are to leave to the desert, Sharat introduces them to his trusted few guardsmen. Sharat recognizes the woman from Hunan's thoughts as Kabin Hussar. Hussar? Husser. One of those. Sharat makes plans to try and get some of the Six Eyes employed as one of her black cloaks to do a little bit of spy work, while the others suggest bringing her down. Abrashmina sees the potential of turning a wealthy Shalar that does not appear to like slaves and slavers to their cause. The others are doubtful about being able to trust Kabin, but Abrashmina is adamant that the virtues are seeing her as an enemy, but perhaps that is not the case. And Sharat says that he will deploy his resources to find out Kabin's true motives while the virtues are gone. Sharat's guards friends, Fadi al-Huk, I'm going to butcher these names, is the guard captain of the market district and has chosen a few of his subordinates to join their meeting. He is a man with a reputation for being just and fair and butts heads with the Shawls often as he does not see them as above the law. Hashad Muhammadi is a idealistic youth eager to please, while Amatullah El Sur is a fit and muscular woman, while Gaita El Malik serves as Fadi's second. The virtues discuss their long-term plans of chipping away at the base of those who support slavery in Ashar, hoping to change the mind of the people holds sway over those in power, reaching in accord with the guards. The virtues leave with new allies. La 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 la. Aubergine gets a scrying font and a tooth from the Copper Grace from Tamim, the regular at the Mirage. And finally, at long last, the virtues head out into the desert. After a few days, Aubergine talks about trying to take care of the chiasma that we don't know is a chiasma. The group is nervous about taking on that risk. And ultimately, they decide not to pursue killing it just yet, trying out her Hailsbane ritual. They encounter a sandworm on the second day, and C is for combat that warriors like to wage. And nearly a week into our journey, we come across a half-buried arched doorway that the stone Declan got in trade from the Minotaurs vibrates with when it comes near. Makud said that it isn't of Mardumik, and Ramiel whispers in Aubergine's ear that is reminiscent of the places in the north, places of power in the north that they seek. The rune stone opens the door and leads to an underground passage where we fight some sturges and firebomb a spider. But the important place in this tomb is a huge chamber that is covered in hieroglyphs that has a pedestal with a large crescent moon shaped diamond that is worth a rough estimate of 30,000 gold or more, and another crescent moon shaped pendant that Bryn identifies as a pendant that grants an additional third level spell slot. Declan's interest lies in the sarcophagus at the end of the room, where a magically malformed skeleton lies within a man with a twisted crocodile skull for a head that Declan wants to take with him for further study. And then we fireball some more sturges, harass the poor phase spider that didn't really want to fight us, and then we search the last chamber and find nothing. And so that is where we left off. You're welcome. Thank you.
You said it's late evening, late after. Yeah, Declan would say, I believe we should press on into the night, make use of hours of low heat while we can. When it gets too cold, then perhaps we should rest.
That is agreeable to me. Is everyone else doing all right? No one needs healing? Okay.
I don't think so. He like checks around and maybe pulls out an errant spouty mouthpiece thing. Still stuck somewhere.
Declan will collect it once it comes out of Makun's body, clean it off, and I'm trying to collect as many as I can. Excuse me.
Did you get some of the back guano as well?
Probably not, because he doesn't want to carry it. Like, he probably doesn't have stuff that's like totally like vacuum sealed, you know, and carrying around like shit, like just gonna go bad and attract pests.
Did you get everything you came for in this place? Are there squiggles on the walls?
There were squiggles?
Yeah, there were hieroglyphs. Neither one of us could read them, though, correct?
I guess I forgot.
Yeah, I specifically wanted to remind you of that because I thought Declan might be interested in it. Even if you can't read it, like squiggles and squiggles.
It hadn't occurred to me. He's not like an ancient history guy, but for scientific purposes, I mean, he sketches everything. So yes, I will make a note that he has sketched the hieroglyphs to the best of his ability. I mean, yeah, once the chill sets in, then we would probably like just throw up the tent and set watches.
Mm-hmm.
You still have the order from before. Sweet.
I rolled very poorly. It's 15.
Is this something I can guide myself on, or no? Because it takes place
Oh.
over an out like a couple hours. Okay.
I have advantage because we're setting camp and we're not going anywhere.
Me too.
But I only rolled one higher, so I rolled a 16.
Oh, I didn't roll very well. That's an 18.
That's your not very well.
I rolled a 9.
I rolled a 16 with a 4.
I have a +9 to my perception.
I rolled a 17.
Nice.
I rolled a 4, so got a 9. Excellent.
The sand, it's everywhere.
Crept up on us in the night.
Back
He has a
for-
+5 perception.
What
pretty
was
good.
Yeah, he got a 9. That's what he said.
Yes, and I got a 9. Is what I said. It was because Declan got a 4 and ended up getting a 16 or something. I just.
What did you get, Declan, by the way? Sorry.
16 with advantage.
Sweet. Okay. Sorry, I was just writing them down. I would have used my sending stone during the evening to send Eli a message. Nothing real important. So it's probably something that she does like every day. It's like another day gone. We are safe and healthy. Missing you. How are you? That kind of thing.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, thank you. Declan is going to spend this night, and probably most nights, but I don't think I mentioned it specifically, working on, to the degree that you'll allow him to work on his designs for stuff. Like if I can plug away, hours on and days on projects, that's what he'll be doing. So he's like sketching in his notebook, and it looks like, to anyone who's curious, it looks like he's sketching out like runes for like a set of armor and things like that, and various different things. So okay. Okay. So I'll just write down like what he's working on each day, and then mark a day worked on that, and then at the end, but you can tally that up as you want. Cool.
Oh. No, you're fine.
Has he? Have they seen us? Okay. You said she's human looking? Okay.
Does she look
Go ahead.
like a metagen? Yeah, but even if I have not seen a metagen, there would be like a description of them, like, oh, there are a bunch of like, straw hat wearing weirdos out in the desert or poncho wearing weirdos out in the desert. Is that like a thing, or are they do they dress like a Shar but like cover up more? Mm-hmm. Okay, dope ass
This
Centaurs.
is a pretty hostile environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Declan will say, whoever this is likely someone we should not trifle with. I'm going to do an investigation of the area from a distance, and just kind of see if it's far away, but if I see any obvious signs of traps, magical or otherwise, or people lurking in bushes, that kind of shit.
Could I perceive if she is alone, or do I see like any signs of? Okay, that will be a uh 20.
26 investigation.
Should we approach?
Off to you.
Okay, and Aubergine will stroll down to the oasis. What?
I was just gonna say, does she give any outward signs that she has noticed us and is choosing to ignore us? That is 20. Okay. Okay.
But when when Bryn uh says it's okay or nods or whatever, kind of all clear signal she gets, like Abrashmina will head down the dune towards the woman.
How old does she look? Okay.
Good morning. Is it morning? Okay. Good day. Yes, we were just passing by and saw you. Or rather, saw the oasis. What are you doing all the way out here by yourself?
Your home is very lovely. The stone itself is coming up out of the ground, right? Hmm. Yeah. I am curious. Did you make it yourself? You must have powerful magic. Very impressive. Mm-hmm. Can I insight check her real quick to see if I get any sense of hostile intention from her?
May I as
Oh,
well?
am I being assisted or are we making separate insight checks?
Separate
Okay,
insights. How do you assist someone with an insight check? So
it's a good question.
that would be a 14.
That would be a 19 for me. Okay, cool.
Does her water smell off? Okay. Hmm.
We are on a great journey into the southeast, right?
South fifth. No.
South. A journey south.
I'm sorry, what is your name? Can I have a spelling, please? That is where our path leads us, Abrashmina will say. I am Abrashmina, and she will hold out a hand.
Bryn's kind of looking around the room and kind of um I'm Bryn. How do you who do you where do you get your stuff from? Is it just you out here? Alone? It's pretty scary out there at night. You're not afraid?
I assume, Bryn, that Bray here is a powerful spellcaster, judging by her ability to shape this house and most of the things in it, I assume.
You can fly?
And she can fly.
She can fly.
She can fly. She can fly. She can fly.
Oh, I bet you can travel pretty quickly and far when you're a bird.
How far does the African swan? Sorry.
Tell
So-
me. Oh, go ahead, sir.
I was like, so what do you know of what's self? They were pretty vague. I was saying we already got one of them.
I imagine Makud is very cramped in this house, so he's like arms tucked in,
Hmm.
looking around.
He's got like the cup like between his thumb and forefinger,
Yeah.
just like in between his knees, and he can't like doesn't have like enough room to actually get it up to his mouth.
Uh-huh.
Please, something slow.
Oh my god, I am rolling dog shit today. It's terrible.
Ooh,
Okay.
27.
21.
14. Makud can't move his head, so he only sees half the
Oh.
room.
No.
Are they glass? Like made of glass? I've never. I didn't tell me
How
anything about that.
how does one safely traverse the glass fields?
That's good.
It doesn't hurt the camels.
You said you live here alone?
Is it your husband that lives with you as well? Charming. Is he also a magician? Are you a dryad as well? If it is not presumptuous to ask, are you anything other than what you appear? She looks human, right? Yeah. What then is the source of your magic? And Declan looks actually very engaged and curious. He's not like interrogating her at all. Is the existence of druidic magic is a pretty common knowledge kind of thing, right? Okay. Ah, then you are a druid. Fascinating. Do you write your incantations and spells down? Do you have any notes or theorem that I could study? a conversation with the earth. And he talks back to you.
Is that so surprising, Declan? I speak to my dad.
Well, it's not surprising, but it is very interesting.
Mm.
I'm something of an amateur arcanist myself, a fledgling really, and not proficient in spellcraft, but certainly in the academic sides of it. And I'm really quite curious to learn anything you could share about your craft. But he realizes he's kind of co-opting the conversation and sits back. Unfortunately, I don't. But something to think about, I suppose.
We are a bit of a time crunch, I suppose. Weird things. Weird around sandworms. Something scary to the south. The lions. Are lions common in Ashar?
Did we see a lion or a tiger with?
Tiger.
Well, it
A
was
tiger.
a tiger. Okay.
They do not normally bite? Or do they not normally bite you? I suppose I should. Was this a while ago?
Does this look like the bite mark of a lion? Okay. You say that it opened its mouth strangely. You mean it was in some way transformed? Mm.
Like a this is so I am picturing it correctly. Okay. I was gonna say like a Venus flytrap, but yeah, that works too. Yeah. I suppose you're right.
Um, do I get the impression that this is a person who is, perhaps intuitive, but not very sharp? Okay. Okay. Do I think it's possible she might have like thought that she was seeing a lion and it wasn't a lion? Like, okay, okay.
She is a druid.
No, I know, but yeah, she's coming off a little spacey and unclear, so worth clarifying. Um,
If if you don't mind, I could try something and that would allow me to see the creature that bit you. All right. I'm going to need you to relax and think about the creature that you saw. And while she does that, I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts.
So she thought it was a lion to start.
It wasn't lying to start.
Right. Whether it was a lion in. Okay. Yeah.
What was there any indication in that vision that I could pick up on as to when? Because you said it nuzzled her hand before, right? That like basically that if that was like a ploy or it was like a normal lion kind of like hey whatever and you know what I mean like the moment it turned like cats do.
Can she insight check the demo lion?
Hey, it's a valuable thing to know.
No.
It's being
I am
remotely
with you.
controlled. Mhm.
Yeah, but she also said that she could touch them. So Mm. Does the wound appear to have been healing up normally, properly? Okay.
So I will minor illusion the picture so everyone knows what it looks like.
Could we maybe make like some history? Could I make a nature check? I mean, obviously, I know it's not a real lion. Try to figure out what the creature is.
Can I make an arcana check if it's like demonic?
That would be
Or would that be religion?
17 is the number.
Whenever he says it like that, it means it doesn't matter what I get. Um, uh, 3 if it's nature, 8 if it's religion. Three nature.
I rolled a natural 20.
Mm.
I would probably have gone for nature rather than religion.
Mhm.
If you want to give me disadvantage because Makud was bored until the monster turned up, can, but uh,
17.
so technically, if it's nature, it's -2, so I got an 18, just beating Declan. But
Mm. Mm.
Ew.
more from the Minotaur upbringing, I'm guessing. Things out in the desert. Cool. Makud kind of like sees the minor illusion, and as I said, he was kind of bored until you put a monster in front of him, and he like looks at it a moment and goes, "I think I've heard of that before. I think I remember the older Mardu talking about occasionally a beast or something would be taken by another, a parasite of some kind that would come to wear their skin.
It's very interesting. Yes, I can see the signs of an infection here. Gestures to the patches of, um, you know, mangy fur and things. Mm-hmm.
In that case, do you mind if I inspect your wound to make sure that you are not uh, infected in some way? Okay. Does it look to be um, diseased or infected? Like prodding the wound? Does it like seem to have like any kind of like softness beneath the skin that shouldn't be there?
I can provide
Oh,
assistance if you like.
yes, please, Declan.
Um,
That would
I-
be wonderful. Um, that's I'm going. Can I use guidance? I didn't say it beforehand. Okay. Thank you. That is very kind because that makes that an 18. Okay. You seem okay to me. That is good.
Which direction from here was this lion? Have you have you encountered more with this affliction? Hmm. That was my understanding. Yes.
How many are in this pride? And they are all acting strange?
My my understanding is that lions, one pride can cover a great deal of territory. Are there prides intermingling at all? Are their numbers greater than just a single pride in a concentrated area? I see. I
There must
understand.
be something driving these lions north. Have you come across any of the sandworms going to the north? That is that is peculiar, yes, with the sandworms. Have you come across any trouble with anyone directing them, the sandworms? They are quite good at most of the desert creatures, yes? There have been some trouble in the Ashar with some of the sandworms.
They prefer the quiet.
She does. Oh,
Declan nods his head. Well, I think we've taken up no small amount of your time, and we are grateful for your words of caution and your water, that perhaps we should be going. Suppose that would be who would be amenable to that. And he kind of looks at everybody else.
Poor Makoot.
Are people turning to him? Oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
there's
would.
just a pause
Okay.
for
yeah.
input.
He kind of like looks at everyone, looking at him for a moment. We can stay. I'm just going to stay outside, and he like backs out of the room. He's like half wedged in the door. You can what? I mean, maybe when I get back, but I'm still going to stretch my legs. And you see him sort of pull out, I imagine, backwards, like head last, like, and stands up and like stretches out his back. And I imagine like he just mostly disappears from view.
Did Makoot introduce himself?
No, she didn't really direct. Well, apart from when she said like your monitor friend, didn't really
Yeah.
direct any attention to him.
So that was not a was that a DM slip up or is that okay? Well, I know I did and I know Brand did. So
Yeah, she never actually got either of our names.
yeah.
I was answering honestly. I'm more than happy for him to have shared name,
Yeah.
whatever you would like.
That, I was
For
I'm
your
just
scene.
that is
But-
that is my paranoia checking in, going ding
Oh,
ding ding.
okay, right. Sure. I was more thinking that it's kind of like Schrodinger's introduction, that
Mhm.
it's done if you need it to be,
Exactly. Yeah.
um,
100%.
automatically. But
I was just wanting to make sure.
so yeah, you see. Sure.
I
You can leave if you want to.
If you dare.
if you can.
Uh,
She sounds like Indra, and it makes me happy. Um yeah, Abrashmina will happily stay inside.
And how?
so if everyone is just staying inside for a moment, you just hear doof, 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 and then a launch, and then a massive splash as he just jumps into the oasis.
So Declan hears that and think that's a pretty good idea. He hasn't gone swimming in probably like years at this point. He's gonna join Makood.
Duh.
Depending on how deep this is, Makuda's like shrugged at, like gone down, so it's just like his nostrils and eyes and the horns above the water. But oh, he leapt in regardless.
Can I
Oh,
see
so I
this
didn't
from?
land on him. Right. That was. I thought I saw him before he impacted the water and was just like, go. Okay,
Okay,
I'm
so
sorry. Can I see him from the shore?
he's under the water.
did, did she say her partner was a dryad or a naiad?
Dryad or something.
What? Oh, or something. Okay. Because I was, Dryad. I was expecting a tree dude, not a oasis dude. Sure.
Declan's gonna disrobe and take off pretty much everything except his undergarments and the ring of elemental control, and just
Shit.
Oh, okay. I was picturing something a little bit bigger. If it looks like there's room enough to swim, I guess I'll jump in as inobtrusively as I can to as not like get up in this guy's personal space. But just he really wants to wash the desert off him.
I'm just saying the fan art piece of that is going to be like Makood having completely gone into this, turned around and seen this guy just wave at him, and Makood's just like confused face with the big bulged cheeks, like. What? So you probably see him surface at some point.
Seems you've made a friend. Say to Makood. The mysterious dryad or something. Thank you for sharing your pool with us. Yes, Abrea was quite generous and allowed us to rest here during the heat of the day. I am Declan Core, and this is Makood. May I ask your name? Anina. It is a lovely home you've carved out for yourselves here. I have noticed that, yes. And you two discovered the oasis here, or? When you say it is your oasis, it is your home, or more than that? I see. Declan feels a little weird swimming in the guy's soul, but, okay. How deep does the well go? Oh, the pool.
Makood kind of like looks down at that point.
Declan's kind of smirking, and he's going to look at Makood and say, Makood, I have a challenge for you.
He looks back up, curious.
Would you like to see who can swim down the deepest and make it back the fastest?
He like looks to Declan and then looks to the.
I'm afraid
the weird wavy head.
This would just between you and I. I'm afraid. I think our new friend could outswim us both.
All right, I can do this.
Series of Constitution checks. Mm-hmm. That is a very long time. Yeah. Okay. That is a 20 athletics and a 16 constitution check.
So I actually rolled a natural 20 again,
you son of a
2 in a
bitch.
row with the same dice, and then I rolled a 16 on the second one.
Beating the shit out of me there. I thought I was doing pretty good.
That was 29 for the athletics, and what con save is 24. Oh, then it is 19.
So all up, that is
Damn.
nice, Makud.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine Declan's like already making his way back up, and they both beat him to the surface. Well, whenever he comes back up, he'll be a little, gasping for breath and say, "Well done, Makud."
So he would surface, and probably the whole of it's not very big, so like such a large guy coming up is going to just rock, I imagine, like waves out into the sand, and there might be like the L'Oreal kind of hair flip thing, but with horns.
His mane just kind of.
Yes, yeah, he goes. I mean, it's all tied on there. He either took it off or tied it, or it was tied on, unless he has to go back for it. But um, that was, and I think there's like a little bit of breath lost, that you've not seen him like exhausted before, but he's not held his breath for a ridiculous period of time before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever swam before. That was easy.
Declan's like, "Fuck you," on the inside. Well, that was incredibly impressive for your first time. I thought I was a strong swimmer, but you put me quite to shame. I would ask you for a rematch, but I don't think I can handle the embarrassment.
Nothing to be embarrassed about. It was good competition.
Some other time, perhaps. I'm not sure whether that was meant as a derogatory statement. I do, but such scorn in your voice. Of course. Well.
So Makud like relaxes against the side, I think. Even if Declan is getting out, it's like, don't worry, my chest is like 3 times the size of you, so I can breathe 3 times as much.
That's actually quite true. You also are more buoyant because you contain more gas. But conversation for another time.
He snorts.
Declan will climb out of the pool and say, by the way, Makud, before we forget for the day, what Ashari thing begins with the letter D and makes the dust sound?
He looks across the pool to the only other person in it. Dryad.
Very well done. Is this in fact what you are, my friend? What would you call yourself? A sylph. Well, best to be accurate. Can you think of another thing, Makud? If he looks confused, Declan can offer a hint or suggestion.
No, he looks around and holds up a fistful of sand. The desert.
The desert. Well done.
This is what Ishar is.
D is for the desert. It is what makes Ashar Ashar.
Well, you know, I am skilled in a lot of other weapons, but the letters they have hurt me before. Not again.
Well, when Wonderful Things of Ashar by Makud and Declan is complete, I will be sure to bring you an advanced copy. Very good. Declan will kind of wait for the water to evaporate a little bit off his body, which I imagine doesn't take long in this kind of heat, and start putting his things back on.
Is there anything that Bryn would like to say or do while the boys are gone?
So, it's going to the desert, right? Going to see the sandworms. This is what you asked us to do, correct? Our part of the bargain?
Yes, we asked for your help in stopping that man that nearly destroyed the Vakar. Whatever it is his intentions or plot may be.
In this business with the slaves?
That is like Aubergine kind of stops for a second and like looks at you, and if you're asking if you're obligated to see it all the way through, that is not what you promised.
I don't even know what it is.
It is a sickness that is in Ashar. I would like to see it better. Makud would like to see it better. It is not something that most of the people of Lament do. Yes, it is just.
No, it's not.
It is not something that most of the people in Neath do. I feel it makes us less.
I just don't know how.
That is a question that I ask myself a lot. It's been something I've been asking myself a lot lately. Because I know that starting fights with Barakados and Shells is not the way. I know that for certain. But other than that, I do not know. It is a complicated issue that will take time. And honestly, I feel I've given it much thought, and I feel that perhaps our paths are not meant to be there yet. And that is why we come across all these obstacles.
I don't think it should be Declan and I pushing for this.
Declan has good ideas, but if you are not comfortable with it, that is not the assistance that you promised me and Makud. I just figured that it is something that we all want to see done because of our histories with slavery.
I mean, that makes sense, right? It makes perfect sense. I want to stop it, and I don't want it to happen to anyone else again. I just I feel like if it's Declan and I, it's just two outsiders coming in trying to tell the Ashari people how they should live.
Aubergine nods. But it is not all it is, yes? Because there is the Six Eyes. They are Ashar, most of them. There are a few foreigners, but the only foreigners that are there because they used to be slaves. And there are people in Ashar that wish it. I wish it. Makud was not born to Ashar, but he is as much Ashari as I. It is not. It is not just you and Declan that are reaching for it. Uh, I feel like Declan's manifesto will help get some of Ashar talking about it. That is part of the problem with Ashar is that the Six Eyes are underground and there is no light to the desire of people wanting slavery to end. It is something that was kept hidden and veiled, but hopefully now it will come to light. And now that there is light, perhaps the seed will grow. It will take time. I do not feel as though the pressure is on you or that the pressure is coming from you.
Just
That is not the case.
times we've spoken about it, it's not that you haven't really seemed interested. It's just that I don't know. It seemed like you thought it was something out of your reach or something.
No, I think it was more that when we spoke of it before, there were other things that were getting caught up in the conversation that besides the slavery. Like, Ashar is not just slavery. And that is what I was hoping that you and Declan would see. Because it is seeing that other is that is what we need to nourish and what we need to grow. And that is the nice parts, the pure parts, the healthy parts are what needs to be uplifted. And by uplifting those, slavery, the roots of slavery will shrivel. That is my hope. I do not wish to raise a shah to the ground to see our goals accomplished. There will be too much lost.
I don't think Ashar is just slavery. I mean, I've seen something of that city at night when I go wandering. It's just fantastic. Just it's a vibrant city. So
Uh,
many people walking around and moving around, and it comes alive to life at night. And the music and the sounds. It's fantastic.
Abrashmina grins at you. She's all like, yes, that is what I would hoped that you would see.
There are times I don't even think I want to leave. I go back to lament.
Well, for the sake of our cook in the Mirage, I am glad to hear you say so. I do
Uh,
not think we would find another of Holly's like.
Although you dragged me out into this desert one more time, I don't.
I promise, I will try to keep the desert excursions to a minimum after this. I hope that one day, perhaps we will be able to traverse these things more quickly.
Just turn into a bird, right?
Yeah, just I will pray for it. Aubergine says. It kind of like glances over at the Brea. uh, Speaking of which, Brea, you were speaking to Declan before about the conversation that you have with nature. Would you be opposed if I uh, commune myself with my god in this place? Okay. Aubergine will kind of go to like her little ritual pouch and like pull out some of like her incense, and she's gonna start preparing the commune ritual. Because I was thinking about this earlier. I had to figure out which one of these spells was the one that was going to help me the most. So it's going to be the 5th level ritual spell. um, Commune is the one where you contact your deity or divine proxy and ask up to 3 questions that can be answered yes or no. Um, I will receive a correct answer for each question. If the divine being isn't necessarily omniscient, so I may receive an unclear as an answer. In the case where a one-word answer would be misleading or contrary to the deity's interest, the GM might offer a short phrase as an answer instead. Okay, so Ambrashmina is going to attempt to get herself a little bit of narrower focus while we are talking about this. It was kind of a great segue, Jade. Thank you. um, so she's going to like lay out her incense and perform the ritual, and uh, breathe it all in and try and make contact with Ramiel or he who watches, whoever might be listening in the moment. And she is going to ask, is she right about Kabin Hasur? Okay.
Can you just remind me in what way you are right, so I can write it down?
No, that is not what. In this case, I can make it more specific if you want, Rob. I can reword that. Okay. Is she right about Kabin Hassar being pro anti-slavery and might be a good ally?
Right.
Uh, another yes or no. Is I probably should have. I probably should have had the committee before I did the commune. Sorry. So is she right about Habib? Yes.
You hear splish splashing in the background.
Thank you
That'd be fun.
so much. Will we find an answer for the spurned in the mountains to the south? A pathway. Okay. And what's another good question? Is it possible to retrieve the lost Veil's veil, the one from her legend lore? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. The spell fades, and Aubergine kind of breathes in and looks over at Bryn. I don't know, about this time it could be whenever Declan comes back.
Sure. Declan comes
Uh,
back. His hair's probably a little poofy because it's drying.
Yeah.
It's just dried off, and he can't style it.
So yeah, like Aubergine has got like you've seen her do this ritual before, so it's like a familiar thing. She's like, well, I feel like I was told that I am right about Kabin Husar. I do not know if that is doesn't make our path to convincing or allying with her any easier, or whether or not that is safe. But at least we know she has the potential to be an ally if we proceed carefully in her regard. Um, we will find a pathway to the south in regards to the spurned, the man with the worms. And there is a relic of Veil that can be retrieved, but I do not know how. But that is something that I can possibly find out.
Always good to have the input of he who watches. However, I am still skeptical of any alliance with someone who tried to murder us in trades and
Definitely.
overt criminality.
No, that is definitely understandable. I just think that there is perhaps I could try scrying on her at some point during our journey. We are far enough away that,
I don't doubt that there is potential in an alliance. The question for me, as it always is, and will continue to be, is to what degree of violence and evil are we willing to tolerate in our allies? And Declan will kind of begin gathering his things together.
Yes, that is definitely the case. That is something that we would have to find out.
Agreed.
Like I said, we have plenty of time here in the desert. I could try scrying on her at some point.
I would be interested in finding or hearing what you find, regardless.
Perhaps I will attempt that tomorrow. And if there are any other questions that you can think of that I might be able to find guidance on, I am willing to be the conduit for those answers.
It seems to me that you can suss out pretty much anything from your relationship with he who watches.
Not everything.
And I
But-
assume what answers you receive are from a specific point of view, and no offense intended, but with an agenda, divine or otherwise.
I may not be lied to in the communication that I have with my god or Ramiel. They will not lie to me, but I may not always receive clear answers. In this case, if I am specific enough to just need an affirmation or a yay or nay, I can get that clearly. Yay or nay. The question is yes or no. I can get that. No problem. If it needs to be a little bit more specific, it needs to be within a little bit more of a tighter time frame.
I did not mean to suggest that your god may lie to you, only that he who watches has his own plans. Is my question.
He is a neutral god, if that is of any comfort. It's more about balance in things.
I understand. Well, if you were looking for more questions, a simple one might be, is this person someone with whom
Would Declan like this person?
in the simplest terms, yes. Someone with whom we can form an alliance in that regard.
Would Declan?
Does Declan like her? Yes or no?
No, would Declan find her in line with his principles? That is enough for you, yes?
That is perhaps unfair and too specific, I suppose. Allow me to think of language that might better suit the question.
As you like, Declan.
Thank you.
I understand your hesitancy to potentially form an alliance with her, but the task before us is monumental. We may not necessarily be able to turn away any allies, especially allies with that amount of power and wealth.
I suppose that could be true, but there is always a line. It is up to us to decide where that line is. If you're telling me there is no line, that's a different thing.
I'm not telling you that there's no line. I'm just simply stating the fact that
I'm not dismissing it out of hand.
Obviously, a creature that has no qualms about using any means necessary to reach her goals. But
Let us not forget that she sent assassins to kill us.
that's they fought Mukud, yes, but the written instructions for the Black Cloaks did not specify.
Didn't you ask the corpse and he said they were told to kill us?
Ooh, let me double check.
Pretty sure.
Nope. I got who hired him. He works for Riga. Where may we find him? He lives on the docks. The agenda: disrupting criminal organizations. Is Riga the leader? That is yes. What is everything they know? They smuggle drugs. The guy did say that they smuggle slaves, but it's possible that the guy was wrong, or they smuggle slaves out and not in.
I mean, either way.
Either way, he did mention slaves there.
I thought I remember
mean-
something about them mentioning. Rob might have just dropped it and we didn't write it down like that.
Didn't they have a hit list with our names on, and they did lure Makud
it
into a
just-
basement to stab him to death?
Yeah.
They had a list with our names on it, but not instructions of kill these people.
I thought I remember hearing that.
They
but
did
maybe-
attack him, but they could have been trying to subdue him. But
With
like
crossbow bolts.
And
Yeah.
that would have been better.
yeah, we don't know because Makud won that fight. It is possible that they were just trying to subdue him.
And that would
Either
have been
way.
better. Like just subduing a random person who passed by you. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't random; it was prepared. But like, what? So they could kidnap him.
Yep. That's my
Okay,
argument.
but still, that
Not
seems
great.
quite negative on the scale of things you could do to people. You could give
Yeah,
them
yes,
candy, like, or a pat on the back, or a compliment. Like,
Yeah.
luring them into a basement and beating them senseless is a pretty negative way to start
Yes.
a relationship.
Yeah, it is. It is.
To bring it back
Oh,
into the
look,
scene.
you're awake. Look, you're finally awake. Were you trying? Were you trying to cross the border? But yeah, like that is her point. Is that we, like, yes, they attacked Makud, like, but you know, they
I
haven't.
mean, Makud
Yeah.
was blasé about the situation because he's an idiot. But
Yeah. I'm not trying to discount it. I'm just trying to, like, maybe there was something that, maybe Makud would have been, that it was just a knock these fuckers out and let me talk to him type of thing. We don't know. I can ask. I can ask.
if it would clear it up for you, you could ask.
Yeah. I
It's-
could always ask, were they trying to kill Makud? So,
and it's
Well, either way, Declan will say, I'm not dismissing it out of hand,
yeah.
but I am starting from a place of absolute mistrust and the assumption that she is our enemy. If you can convince me otherwise, then I'm amenable to the discussion.
Of course. I did only ask if I was right about her being a possible ally. There's no kind of indication as to what kind of sacrifices we could make to make her so. So it is not that I am saying that it is a course that we need to take. I am saying that it is a path, an option that is available to us. Whether or not we decide to take it is undecided. We do not have to.
It was never unclear to me that we could choose to ally with her.
Yeah.
We could choose to ally with many people.
I think it was more the wanting the confirmation of the possibility, I guess.
I understand.
It is definitely something that would require more time and answers before.
The concept makes me uncomfortable, but I will not dismiss it out of hand, like I said.
Mm.
But I believe that the day has passed, DM.
I would just like to say, however much time we spent here, Makud is spending all of it in the Oasis with his new watery buddy. I'm not entirely sure. Like, he probably just talks about anything to him and everything. I'm not sure if anything we have achieved will pique that guy's interest. Probably, possibly all of it, because he doesn't get out much. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Makud gets any certain tidbits from him, but he maybe gets some things that largely pass over him. But I'm just saying, down the road, if we run into some more dryady, elementally stuff, maybe Makud has a way in with some knowledge to explain the next critical hit, like 20 that I roll for something bizarre.
I love that is like where Makud shines on like those bizarre criticals. Didn't you have one like that last time? Last session too?
Possibly.
I think you like nat 20 done something that you.
It's completely weird. Yeah. His memory is hit and miss. There's probably a lot stored away in there somewhere.
Once Declan's got his stuff together, he's gonna get his medical kit out, and he's actually gonna go back to the pool and approach what's his face, Anim. And he'll a little bashfully, and realizing this is maybe a little rude what he's doing, but he really wants to do it anyway. He'll say, "Anim, I wonder if you would allow me to indulge a curiosity." I he looks actually embarrassed at that. No, 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 no. Sorry, no, not like that. I don't either. Not that I think there's anything wrong with that. I don't do that though. Usually, I mean, sometimes with people, but sorry. Would you mind if I have some of your blood? I know. It is part of an ongoing research project of mine to distill and understand the physical essence of magic. And your unique physiology, your connection to the land in a spiritual and metaphysical sense, intrigue me very deeply, and I would be honored if I could study you in a way through your blood. Ah, thank you. Um, if you don't mind, and he'll just kind of like ask him to get out of the pool. Is your physiology similar in general outlay to that of a human being or a humanoid type? If I hurt you at all, uh, apologies in advance. And I'll pull out my syringe, and I'm gonna see if I can try to find a vein. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find a vein. Okay, and I will. Sure. There's a reason I took double proficiency in this shit. Get the best blood. It's a 19. Sweet. I would be happy to, of course, share any research any information that is drawn from the research once it is completed. Someday soon, I hope to visit you both again. Very, very nice couple. Yes, very good. Makut, I think we're getting ready to leave when you're ready.
Okay.
Declan's gonna walk away very quickly, feeling a little embarrassed.
You probably hear after him. Oh yes, I forgot to tell you about that. He likes to take people's blood or their bones, or just. It fades into the distance as you walk away. He kind of like looks at him. I'm not sure he knows meaning of macabre. He is a dark individual at times. He has been through some trouble, but he still tries to do the best for everyone around him. As are you. And Makut like pulls himself out of the like. I was thinking it's like a cenote in Middle America. It's just kind of like a tunnel that goes down. And he does like the big shake. Any person that is interested as you in the tales of the world and so willing to share what did your soul? And like Makut like runs his like fingers through the water. You must be a good person too. Well, I know my way here now. Between you and me, the others they do not do very well in the desert, so I'm sure we will see this oasis again. He'll give a big smile and probably like pull whatever pack or something he has over his shoulder. Yes. Although when he like does the explode, there's actual sand like because of his powers. Nice. Awesome fan art. Why can't I have that fan art of that fist bump with like water and sand? Like, damn it. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Sure.
Sounds like
That's not where you put
That's
caffeine.
not where it goes.
it sounds right to me. Exactly. I'll be
If you
back.
come back a bit gurgly, we'll know why.
No, that's not.
Oh.
Declan's gonna have so much blood by the end of this. It's gonna be great.
Mm-mm.
I think I have to have like some kind of collection or something. Like Remy collected tomatoes and like plants and shit. Declan collects blood and bones.
Yeah, you need to get your own bag of holding for that.
So that's one of my building projects is going to be like a bag of preserving, like
Mhm.
something like a big space that's also like temperature controlled for like biological samples.
So a bag of
A bag
holding.
of colding.
I guess is that what that's called?
Uh,
It's
it
not
was
what-
in Vox Machina.
Oh,
in-
that's
in
right. It
Critical
was,
Role.
wasn't it? Yeah.
So it's become like a thing in the
I had
community.
totally forgotten about that, but I probably stole it from there.
yeah,
It's a logical kind of progression.
Mhm.
I guess Declan is kind of a less charismatic Percy.
Somewhere between Percy and Vex, maybe.
Percy and Vex, yeah, maybe.
Vax.
Oh, Vex, yeah.
Because you've got a
It's
little
more
bit of
accurate.
the emo thing,
Little
emo
bit.
rogue thing going on,
Mhm,
and
mhm. I am the knight.
Are you gonna multi-class in some paladin too?
I just have the charisma for that shit. I
I
think you
will
need a minimum.
multi-class into a paladin of logic. Cold hard logic.
There you go. No, I considered multi-classing him into wizard, but I think I play multi-classes a fair amount. I like the idea of trying to do single class, and I did that with Remy. So probably stick with that for Declan. But next character is either going to be like a totally shitballs crazy multi-class, or a wizard. I want to play a war wizard kind of. It doesn't make any sense to like cheat yourself out of
Spell
high level
class.
spells if you're a wizard.
Yeah, and the rogue they get like a lot of really cool abilities, and so
Mhm.
it's kind of worth pursuing their capstone.
Yeah, for sure. Like sometimes a one level dip can make a difference, but like if I was gonna what?
Like with the bard, I think like the bard is like the only class that spellcasting class that I think it makes a lot of sense to multi-class a bit in, just because like their capstone isn't that powerful, but like a small little dip into like warlock or cleric or
Fighter or something.
fighter or paladin or something that goes
Yeah.
along with either their fighting stat or their casting stat.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause,
Well,
like
pretty much anything that's a charisma caster, you can get like a pretty ridiculous multi-class with.
yeah, or like if you have a high enough wisdom, a dip like 1 level dip in cleric, you get like a bunch of cool stuff. Like I actually considered that with Elishon if we had actually reached 20 with her.
Oh, taking cleric levels.
Uh-huh.
That'd be cool. I guess it would make sense for her too, since she started being a champion for a deity.
Exactly. And she's not strong enough for it to take levels of paladin. But she, or like even like before then I was considering like a few levels of druid or doing like a magic initiate feat and taking like druid or cleric there. Because like there's one thing that bards need, and it's a cantrip that involves an attack roll.
What do you mean?
I don't like wisdom saves, wisdom save cantrips, because it's something like most things have a lot of.
Yeah.
And that's all they get. They get thunderclap, but thunderclaps, they have to be.
Is Vicious Mockery wisdom save?
Yeah, it's a Vicious Mockery is their only damaging cantrip, except for thunderclap, and thunderclap requires people to be within 5 feet of you. And so, like, unless you're a valor or swords, or whispers bard,
Although you can also take. I don't think there's anything that says you can't take for magical secrets.
Oh yeah,
take an extra cantrip, like take freaking Eldritch Blast if you want to.
Yeah, there are a few like builds that I've seen where someone's like taken like Eldritch Blast as like their cantrip. But like if you're gonna take Eldritch Blast, it's also really awesome to have Agonizing Blast.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's
2 levels in.
And Warlock for sure.
Warlock
is almost kind of like a class made for multiclassing a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? It kind of enhances any other class a little, like, really, you know?
Yeah, and like it's really easy to RP getting a patron too, because like Elishon 1.0, whenever she was in Curse of Strahd, could have very easily have multiclass into an Archfey Warlock, because the DM for that one made up like a Fey NPC that was like putzing around with us the entire time. Turned out that, later on he was succubus instead.
Oh no.
Around that time, that's whenever I quit the campaign, because it was kind of shite.
It was kind of what?
It was kind of shite.
Oh yeah, that's too bad.
It was a horrible DM.
Yeah, especially if you have other people you can play with, it's not worth sticking it out in a shitty game.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 4 months it took of me complaining to Dan before he finally convinced me to say my goodbyes.
Oh man, I went away, but then came back and immediately knew what you were talking about. Oof.
Were you also in that game, Dan?
No,
I wasn't. I was just. She was spending a lot more time probably typing to me than she was playing that game, and I was like, "There's a reason for this."
Yeah, it got so bad at one point because like the DM wasn't that invested either, because he would sit there and like, there's this article on Facebook I just found, guys, in the middle of one of his descriptions. So it's not like talking to each other, and distracted by a Facebook article, he was like scrolling as he was like trying to talk to us.
Yeah,
and
that's no good.
Derailed himself, and yeah, so like he wasn't paying attention. So I think like my last 2 sessions, I spent the entire time playing Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
I think, didn't you say he was watching like sports games and stuff in the background? And
in the background, because it was the Monday night game, so he was watching Monday Night Raw.
I mean, good on you for DMing, but like really, you're just kind of wasting everyone's time at that point.
Yeah, he was totally, because he wasn't like prepared for anything. Because like there'd be like stuff where like we would be in like the middle of a scene or whatever, and he'd be like, "Hold on, you guys, I gotta find something for you to fight," as he's like flipping through like the DMG. I'm like, no, because you don't have to have a fight. If you didn't have one prepared, then we're not fucking fighting anything.
Right.
Fucker. You don't have to have a combat.
I mean, he might have been playing with like a random table or something like that, but
Yeah. Or like, he knew he wanted this thing to like end in combat, but he didn't have the
Mm,
monster ready for it.
right. Which that that's
Yeah. Well, like that too, He was also never mind. I could go on and on and on about that game. I have before. Yeah, I won't. I'll take up another 5 minutes talking about it.
I always agree whenever I hear that it's no game is better than bad game generally.
Yeah. That's where I got.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is Jade here? Oh, okay. Never mind then.
I'm the ghost of that person we're talking about.
This is how I always referred to myself.
I
What
mean,
do you fuckers mean you don't believe me?
Actually, I'm sorry. I meant to do something. Yes. I wanted to like give them some kind of gift or like a thank you for sheltering us during the heat, but I don't have a whole heck of a lot that isn't like acid or like bits of something crazy.
Poop in a bush, poop in a bush.
Yeah.
Ooh, I know something. I know something.
Mm.
If like Aubergine will pull out the blue mushroom that you gave her
Mm.
ages ago.
Sure.
We can give that to her.
Yeah. We'll offer that to what's her face?
Abrea.
Abrea. It is a fungus, something which grows in the dark and cool places of the world where you can find them. It is
Sorry, Dylan. I have to laugh at you plant splaining to a druid.
I mean, she said she didn't know what it is, right?
Yeah. I know. I said anyway.
Okay. Um, it is potentially dangerous, so do not ingest it without, or at least not in its full dose. If you do, I remember what the blue one does?
That's the one that helps you regain a first level spell
Oh, well, yes. Do in fact eat it if you have expended your magical energies
slot.
and require them in an emergency.
Uh-huh.
If there are spores that you can still cultivate, then yes, by all means. Well, good luck to you in that. Thank your partner for his blood for me.
Wait, what?
Goodbye.
I just want to say that they watch McCoo dragging the hammer and the little trench that it makes out and around the corner and away.
Did he go swimming with the beetle?
Oh, has the beetle got a very high constitution? Or is it watertight? It might be watertight.
No.
But it's going to keep trying to come back. Yeah, In the fan art, I'm just seeing like Makoot's pack, this massive hammer, and then the beetle just camped on the side of this oasis.
I kind of
Okay.
like the idea of like Makoot like mid-air and like getting ready to like leap into the water and like the beetle just noping off of his shoulder and landing onto the sand.
As we are heading through the desert, I meant to mention this earlier, but I totally forgot. Declan is also, as they're walking, going to be looking for signs of, and he'll probably ask for Makood's help with this, but
Yeah.
signs of sandworm passage, either their leavings, shed scales, droppings, whatever, anything you can find. He would have probably tried to, like when we first saw the sandworm pass, he probably would have tried to pick through that. But if you don't want to, if we, it's not retroactive. I mean, okay. Okay. He's looking. He's gonna keep his eyes open. So we probably would have been going deeper into the night again. Okay. Perception check. See if I can see anything coming on.
Oh, I
Same.
rolled well.
We have stopped already. Okay, that is a 27.
Sorry, bear with me.
Sight, if that makes a difference.
31.
And I do have dark vision.
I
So
got a
do I.
23 with no
Damn.
dark vision.
Ooh.
I was mostly smelling.
Fancy boy.
Does it look like it? I guess it looks like a regular line, as far as we can tell. Wonder if one of our infected feline friends has found us.
We should kill it.
Probably.
I'm gonna show
Does-
you nods.
There's no good to still live.
May I have a quick question to the DM? Is Aubergine wise enough or smart enough to know if a creature that is being puppeted by a parasite considered undead? Not considered undead. Okay. The thing possessing it would probably be so like can I make a check to know what kind of creature this kind of parasite would be? Like if it is a fiend or an aberration? Arcana? Ooh. Oh, that's a kraken on my dice. So that's a 21. An aberration?
So that's like something from beyond the realms, right? Like a monstrosity would be your like magically mutated shit, and this is an alien possessing a lion, potentially. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to kind of assume that kind of realization was probably like talked about in the hut, and so everybody knows that because Amrashmina knows that. Or I'll
No,
just say it's an aberration, you guys. Right now, either way.
nobody mentioned to Bryn. She may be a lion. With aliens. Mhm. Well, I meant more as a metaphor. She was a lion
Because she's from beyond the plains.
with an alien. Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Declan is going to say, well, first of all, what's the terrain? Is it pretty much a straight shot between us and the line? Okay.
100 feet.
I'm going to see if I can find more of them. I won't engage, and I'll return here shortly.
Okay.
I'm real slippery, don't you worry. And I'll sink down through the floor of the hut.
I am going. Well, we're not at. Oh, of the tiny
You mean camping? Yeah.
No, I'm dumb. I'm like, what? We're not there anymore. I'm gonna be. It's 100 feet away. Never mind.
And then I am going to sort of through the sand make a. I'm moving slower because I'm being stealthy, but like go 45 feet, pop up, stealth, scan, go 45 feet, like using the dunes that I've sort of seen and my awareness of the terrain to not exactly have to have an obstruction between me and the lion. I don't even need to roll stealth. Okay. I immediately go back to the tent. It has perfect awareness of our location, which is very disconcerting. When I popped up 45 feet away, could I see any other lions? Right. Okay. So I only noticed it following me when I was in what distance? Mm-hmm. I was trying to make like a wide angle around it to see if it was alone, you know. Oh, okay. Um, okay. It does seem to be on its own, though. Do we wish to engage?
We are in the hut. Yes. It cannot enter the. Cannot enter. Bleh. It cannot enter.
I mean, I'm not worried for us. I'm worried for the next friendly woman next to an oasis that gets bitten. They may not all have magic.
We could draw it closer. Draw. See how many there are.
I will attempt to set an ambush. When you're ready, make a big noise and see if you can get its attention. And we'll engage. Keep your eyes open for more. I might have missed them.
It is still 100 feet away. Is it still like staring at where Declan is, or where we are? Okay. Whenever Declan peels off, does it change focus?
I mean, I'm doing the same thing basically, trying to see if I can lose it.
Whenever Declan, oh, we have the little communicator things. Whenever you're
We
ready,
do.
you
That's
tell us
right.
when you're ready, and I'm gonna guiding bolt the shit out of it whenever you're ready.
I'll move about
Declan
30.
just sounds like he's speaking through sand, though.
Well, I'll come up when I'm in position, about probably 30 feet from the hut, and just kind of like behind a dune on my lying prone with my crossbow out, and then I'll say, "Alpha team, go."
Whenever you do, I'm gonna guiding bolt. Is anyone else getting anything ready?
His hammer.
Okay.
My murdering swords.
Okay.
These are my murdering swords.
Murder.
I want to make sure I hit it, so I'm going to use my inspiration because I don't think a 14 will hit. But does a 20 hit? Okay. Abrashmina guiding bolts the lion. It is going to take not very much damage, that is sad. 7 points of radiant damage from 46. Thanks, ones and twos.
Oof.
That was great.
Oof.
But it's now glowing.
Yay.
Does not sound like a lion.
That is radiant BT dubs. That makes a difference. Okay.
I feel like I could have gotten a perception check on that. Sure. Okay. I will wait till they pass me, and then whenever the one that was hit, should I roll stealth, or does that still not matter?
Do we have another round of combat on them right now, or are we in initiative mode?
It's 22 stealth.
Okay.
Okay. Whenever they're past me, I'll take a shot at the one that has already been shot. Yay! That's a 19 on the die. That turns into a 28. Sweet. For 66 damage. 6. 12. Nice. 22. Oh, 26 plus 4.
Shit. I need to remember to do that before I start combat. 15.
Oh, I have advantage. It's like one thing that I can be good at. No, great. Thanks, brilliant.
No.
I went up from a 3 to an 8. Plus 3 is 11. Makud is outside of the hut, ready to bada swing one of these things that comes at him.
That was a 7 for me. Pretty bad.
Does Makut have a held attack? Because he was like readying up. Okay.
Okay.
You guys did say that you got your hammer and your murdering sword ready.
Held murder action.
I held murder yet. Also, I got a 20 for my initiative.
Nice. dashed on like their bonus action, or
They're rogues, Joe. Rogue lions.
yeah,
They
they
cleared
were
about.
Murder.
they were
They
100
cleared about.
feet away.
Sorry.
100. They were 100 feet away. So I was just
Oh,
wondering if they why it you know. meh, meh, meh.
that was a miserable 13. That was almost as low as I could roll. Yes, it was bad.
I got the 21 to hit. Yeah, whichever one's closer. So random one or yeah, that sounds good. For 14 points of damage.
Oh, Makut, if you went for the one that was glowing, you'd have advantage on it.
It's already been shot.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yay! All the murder, and I'm gonna drop 3 off of my rapier to boost my armor class. So that hit is a 20. 17. And another 17. Uh, 6 points of damage. I'm sorry, 8 points. Because I can math. 7 points of damage. And that one's going to get an additional 1 point of poison damage. And 11 points of damage. It is indeed.
Aubergine is going to walk up behind Makut, lay a hand on his shoulder, and say, "May the Watcher protect you." And she's going to cast protection from evil and good on Makut. With her action, with her bonus action, she's going to do nothing because that action has spell, and she's going to back up into the hut.
If he hadn't already raged, I will rage now, and then get to thwacking. How many are on me, and how many are on Bryn, and how many are where? Sure. Okay. I will attempt to thin the herd. That is 24. And that is 19 on the dice. 29. Whoever's in front of me, whether it's the shiny one or not, just whoever reaches first. Okay, that is fine. That is some hefty damage kicking out of the Igmuti Maul. 24? 24. I'm fairly confident. That was 24 damage in a single hit. And then, of which 5 was fire, if that makes any difference. Okay, that is another even potentially heftier hit. That was 26 damage from the Igmuti Maul. Though that was 2 very good damage dice. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, not got anything else. He's standing put.
They will have disadvantage on Makud.
Did Declan get underneath? He didn't go in that turn.
It's yeah, it's how my turn yet.
Oh Jesus! Right, you did.
Yeah.
You did terribly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Okay.
Oh Jesus!
Dis- oh,
That does miss it. Yes. That does hit. Does hit. Reducible damage, as in piercing, biting, etc. Cool. Oh damn.
I will probably have to wrap up in like 20 minutes, just so you know.
Okay. Again on me. Hit. That hits as well. These are all at the disadvantage, right? But all even. Yeah. Yeah. Even. Okay. Hit.
was that was that 10 reduced to 5 for? Okay. No.
Jesus Christ!
That does not hit because of various things that I have. Yes, that hits. What was the damage on that last hit? 9.
I tried, man. Didn't know sandbag tactics.
I mean, it could have been worse. Hang on, you just attacked me with 3, and you said okay. So there's the main one, and then yeah, 5 others. Okay.
Thank God.
Fantastic. It's a miss. Is my rapier. That's a hit. Mm-hmm. That is a hit. A hit. A hits.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
That is a hit. Both of those hit.
I don't like these lions, guys.
So is there any way that I can center a 30-foot radius effect in such a way that it would not hit Makud and Bryn? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um, okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm gonna pull out one of the little clay, sort of like fragile clay grenades that I've been keeping that contain diluted versions of the dust of sneezing and coughing. I'm gonna target the center of that group, so they each get a con save, DC 15. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure. An attack roll or dexterity check? Okay. Okay. Cause I'm awesome. Let's see. That's a 16 on the die. So if it's just like a standard ranged attack roll, then it would be a 24. Cool. DC 15 con save. Oh, that sucks. It's awful. Oh well. That would have been a big help. Okay. Ah, shit happens. You probably feel like there should be. He's gonna move into melee range to hopefully draw a couple off of who's closer to him, Bryn or Makud? Okay. He'll stride up next to Bryn because she can probably take slightly less damage than Makud, and see if he can pull attention, pull focus off of her. But then that's all he's gonna do.
Um. Yeah. Am I grappled by more than one?
No, that one oh no, never mind. Yeah, that's right. I was like, she got through one. Never mind.
Is there any way I can get away from all of them, or is it just gonna be? Yes.
Yes.
When yeah, because I'm probably bleeding from my ears and everything else, and uh, yeah, I'm gonna dimension door the fuck out of there.
Don't worry, Bryn. I have complete confidence in your abilities. Bye.
Where did she teleport to? Inside the hut?
Yes, maybe.
Can magic pass through the hut?
I don't know.
Oh, wait.
I'm gonna
Pass to the
teleport.
other side of it and then just step into it.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
what I'll do. Now I'm in the hut. Laying on the ground bleeding.
Oh, God.
I bleed in desperation.
Okay. Bryn, you stay in the hut, and just a moment, I will be right back. And Aubergine is going to. How far is Makud from her? Okay, she's going. If I walk up to him to touch him, am I going to get into the melee range of these creatures?
I think they're on all sides of him right now.
I'm gonna do it. Okay, Aubergine's gonna run up
Ooh.
and touch Makud on the shoulder again, and cast Freedom of Movement.
Ooh.
Yeah. So she casts Freedom of Movement. That is her fourth level spell. That is her action. Her bonus action will be to cast Spiritual Weapon. Ramiel appears next. No, I cannot, because those are both. Yeah, sorry. Can I spare the dying on one of the lions?
There's an unconscious lion being worn by a parasite. Mm.
Yeah.
Woo.
Uh, um, I'm trying to decide. Should I stay where I am, or should I try to get back into the hut? I
Uh,
won't. I won't have. I won't have. I won't have enough movement to get there. Because if I had to go 20 feet to get to him, I won't have the movement to get back. So I should stay where I'm at, right?
Yeah.
Go
I
stay
mean,
where
I'm sure you can take a round of hits.
Yeah, sure can.
You have crazy armor. You were like asking for hits like the last time we fought. I seem
Yeah,
to remember.
yeah. But these guys have advantage. Yeah. That's sorry.
They won't all be flanking you.
Yeah, that's all okay. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Makut no longer grappled for whatever the horribleness that they might do to him. Will turn around and strike the one that is now in between him and Mina, like the one holding her from getting away necessarily. Uh, because they already hit a lot, even with the blessing, I might as well go reckless because they can't get like multiple advantages and disadvantages won't thing out. So I think he can figure that out at least. That's like an 18 and a 16 on the dice plus 10, so hits. Sure. I was looking for a crit. Damage. The first one is only 18 damage, and the next one is not a whole lot better. In fact, it is worse for 17 damage. And if I didn't drop the dog before, that's the one that the lion. That's the one that I'm continuing to smash. Really? Does it look rough? Oh, no, that's a good point. I told you I was going to change. Yeah, I changed. Yeah. Not while Mina's here. Makud will probably do it to himself, but not when, like, Declan's quite close as well. That might have come up before, but yes, friends and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy. That will hit.
Reaction! Spirit shield!
Oh.
Oh, drop the dice. That did not help. I just rolled 2 6s. Reduce that by 12 damage.
That makes sense. I like that. I like that call.
Yay. Mhm.
Mm.
Mina!
Oh,
Cancel it!
no, it didn't happen. Those crits didn't happen.
Thank you.
Sorry. Fuck you. One of them doesn't happen.
uh, 14, 11, and 12. He hit all of them. Bear in mind he's at disadvantage, remember? Or he's rolling equal. Because you said you rolled 2. Because you've not got pack tactics. I'm still thinged. Protection from evil and good. Yeah, but I have protection from evil and good. So that they have a straight roll. Okay. 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 Yep. So both of the first one hit, didn't it? What did he roll? Yeah. Sure. It's a hit. Okay.
That would hit, but I'm going to use shield. Armor class is now at 23. I mean, I can get one more turn in. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can finish this round. Okay. So he's gonna just draw his Sword of Haunting and unleash a chime, and they all need to make wisdom saves. 15 is the number.
Didn't you have 2 others to hit Declan with, or did all they miss as well? Yeah.
Dan, be quiet. I'm shushing Dan. That is a hit. Those 2 hit. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now they need to make wisdom saves. Jeez, thanks, Dan.
Sorry.
That was a pretty good pissy American, by the way. That was.
Thanks. I think you've done them all. No.
Okay. The rest are afraid of me until they make the save. End of their turn every round.
Oh man.
That sword's come on pretty useful.
Dude, that is. I love that sword. I'm never getting rid of that shit. It's not even attunement, so I don't have to.
Woo.
Yeah. Incapacitated would have been a lot better if I had gotten him with the dust, but
Yeah.
take what you
Still,
get.
it's a pretty another badass like fan art of fighting in the dunes in the moonlight, and you just like with a
Mhm.
shrieking sword and all of these like tentacle dogs, and Maku just like with them latched onto him.
It's a good visual moment for sure.
And Mina got completely saved by a sand minotaur. That
I
makes me happy.
I hate.
You're not even grappled.
I know.
Amazing.
I am. Well, it sucks. We're gonna have to wait like 2 weeks before we finish this, though.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Are you sure you have to go?
I mean, it does seem like Spain is about to explode, so maybe we shouldn't. But
Are you leaving for your flights tonight?
no. We're leaving. We were supposed to fly into Barcelona on Sunday, but Barcelona. I don't know if you guys know, but there's like they're in the middle of like major protests.
Yes, there's this whole like save the planet type stuff going
Yep.
on.
So it's a separatist thing. It's Catalonia or Catalan separatist movement.
Right.
So people are pretty pissed. Apparently, shit turned violent today. It's gotten pretty nasty.
Oh.
But we are instead flying into Madrid.
Okay.
We were able to rebook ourselves. So if the country's capital isn't safe, then nowhere is. So that's what I figure.
Sure.
But yeah, no, we're gonna be there for just a couple weeks, but sort of dodge the bullet in terms of stuff. Really?
Wow.
Really? Well, good on her.
Dude, you reminded me we were going to talk about going to Seville because I have
Yeah.
recommendations. Do you have a chance to talk tomorrow at all at any point?
Yeah, sure. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
it's going to be a little busy before we leave, but I mean, if you wanted to just put down a few things just on paper, that'd be fine too. But I'd be happy to talk with you if I can find time.
Sure, just 10, 15 minutes or something.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I can direct you some real good restaurants and stuff.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we should.
I'll hit
work
you up in
that out.
the evening tomorrow or something.
Yeah, totally.
Thanks, pal.
Cool.
How much hit points does Bryn have?
Hold on 1 second. I believe it's 37.
Oh
Oof.
boy.
Oof.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 32.
Okay.
Well,
you
that's
have-
scary.
Yeah, you have roughly the amount of health that Mac has taken in damage.
Yeah, I wouldn't have survived another round like that.
Yeah.
I was gonna go out and freedom of movement you, Bryn,
Mhm.
but you took care of yourself, so you stay in the hut until
Yeah,
you're back on your feet.
I was gonna say I might poke my head out and do some
Vicious
skull
mockery.
shit. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Rob,
Okay.
thank you for a wonderful game. Looking forward to the next time, and see you guys soon.